Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Access Me Salon, where I will be exploring thousands of access consciousness classes recorded over the last 30 years. The first recording from 1986 until 2022. Join me and find out who likes what class best. I will be interviewing guests from all over the world, people who came to Access very early and who recently joined. So come and explore the world of Access Me. And here we go. Welcome everyone to another episode of the Access Me Salon. Today with our famous Kalpana Raghuraman. Did I pronounce your last name correctly? This is my first question.
The most important question. It's actually like they're all same. Raguraman.
Raguraman. Okay,
There you
so
go.
welcome Kalpana Raghuraman,
Amazing.
our dancing star of Access Consciousness, live from a theater in the Netherlands. Is that correct?
Yes. I mean, all the way up north. Yeah, we're in this
All the way
beautiful
up
theater
north.
here.
And thank you for
Yes.
taking your time for this interview. We are all very, very curious about the class that you have chosen on the Access Me application that we will extrapolate today. So, what
So
was your favorite class? Is there one? What topic would you like to explore
this
today?
this is where I'm like, oh my God, when you asked me, I was like, which one? I mean, Obesity Clinic. I mean, this Home of Infinite Possible. I mean, there's just so much stuff, right? There's so much. And maybe I can say something different. I'm not following the script, but I think the biggest thing for me was that if you're into Access, you might have done 2 classes, you might have done 20 classes. What for me has been amazing as a facilitator is getting the app and actually releasing the gift of having these facilitations available at any moment, right? You don't even have to search. I mean, one of the things I think most of us love is that you don't have to look into your somewhere in your Dropbox or like, oh, did I download it? It's all there. But really hearing Gary and Dane facilitate, and as a facilitator, really that's another like facilitator training, having access to so many years of facilitation. Do you know what
So,
I mean, David?
you're using the app then to, prepare for facilitation? Is that what you do?
No, but you just get such a universe added to you that because a
Mhm.
lot of people think like now I'm a facilitator and I'm done, and it's like, well, I love re-listening, and I just love also listening to the older classes because there's so much awareness and there's so much brilliance there.
So you actually use it as a facilitator tool. You learn how to facilitate through
Yeah.
listening. Can you? I love this topic because this is, you mentioned also the Obesity Clinic, the last 3D body class I facilitated. I had to drive an hour in Australia to the venue, and I put
Uh-huh.
the Obesity Clinic on. And guess what? All the questions that got asked in the first day, I just had listened to them on the Access Me app. So
That's
let's have a
amazing.
conversation about Access Me being a facilitator training in your pocket.
Yeah.
How do you use it? Because there's so much on that. There are infinite topics. It starts with the very first class that Gary facilitated in 1986 up to 2022 by now.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you choose the classes? What's your
Um,
trick?
my trick is a little bit like going to a restaurant and looking at the menu. It's a bit like,
Okay.
hey, universe, hey, consciousness, hey, what's required, and then ping. That is kind of like what pings. Or you just go, hey, there was this something, and it's like when you do a body class, you have body processes, and you just scanning, and then one jumps at you. So that's actually how I find the calls. And it's interesting when you say it. In a way, it's like an extra education.
Mhm.
I'm adding that facilitator angle just to also add another way of looking at this app. Of course, there's a lot has been already said also about the gift of this app as a resource, right? As a resource
Mhm.
of all these things that are, abuse or bodies or money, or there's just business. I mean, anything under the stars. And I'm adding this angle, like as a facilitator, it's also educational. Like besides the fact that you get greater, and you get more aware, and you release all this crap, and you get more, it opens up your world, and you get facilitated. You also get you're listening to two, like, honestly, like, brilliant beings facilitating all kinds of people over time. And that's what I love, that part of the app as well.
Yeah, well, I love it too. And I love that you mentioned the obesity clinic. That's actually also my favorite tool since I'm the
Oh,
one
that's so fun.
interviewing. Can I just jump into that? What is the gift for you of the obesity clinic? A lot of people might think, oh, I'm not obese. Well, I'm not fat. Why would I need this? What would you recommend, or how would you summarize the gift of listening to the
Hmm.
obesity clinic?
Well, that's an example of that you think it's not your topic. Right? Like, you're like, oh no, I'm fine with relationship. I don't need to do relationships done different. Or like, oh, business, I'm not really into business. So I don't need to do a joy of business, like business done different class. So with the obesity clinic, I mean, I don't think either of us is obese, but we both
And
listen
that
to
is
it.
our favorite call. So what is that?
I
Let's extrapolate.
Well, I think that is again like where we, as from our awareness, there's so much, like in any topic, there's so much layers of things. And the obesity clinic is about a lot of things. And you somehow know that there's something there. That's why you want to listen to that. And like you said, like, yeah, you might be like, well, yeah, I'm not obese. Why would I listen to it? But if you take away that kind of identification of what is for you and what is not for you, and there's awareness everywhere, and there's tools to greater awareness everywhere, then there is no not for me or for me, it's all for you.
Beautiful. Yep. That's exactly how I perceive it. So, Kalpana,
Yeah.
you are, and would like to say that you are very famous in access consciousness. You are, how many years are you doing access consciousness now? I think over 10 years, I think.
Yeah, over 10 years now. Yeah.
Do you remember the very first class you met Gary and Dane? The very first class you attended?
Oh
What
yes,
was
100.
that and where?
Actually, yeah, so my first class that I met Dane, he came to Amsterdam. I had just done a bars class like a few days before, and he came to the Netherlands, and he did an intro, as he does, intro. And so I had up to then only listened to stuff and started to play with the clearing statement, and then I had done a bars class, and I went to that evening class, and I just remember just like being bedazzled, and also going like, wow, what kind of new crazy wow space, and who are these people? Like, it was just really bedazzling and very impressive. I still remember one sentence that he said. This was in 2012, and he said,
Wow.
what if that sentence, just, I even remember, I'm very locational with my sound memory. I'll remember some music, and I'll know where I was driving the last time I heard it, and weird stuff like that. So I remember he said, what if every judgment that comes your way, you transform that into gratitude?
Wow.
Yeah. And that's kind of an example of the app. It's like, this is a gem, and it's full of those gems. And he said that in 2012, a random moment in a 2.5 hour class. But it was so powerful for me. And the energy he was being, I kind of saw the Matrix thing, that like, so I just saw those judgments,
Mhm.
and then getting transformed into like gratitude. I remember going, whoa, it was so huge. And I quickly saw him after. It was the first time. It was like, yeah, like a baby. But it was so, but the thing is, with that, like, if I connect that to the app, how many more gems were in that class that I did not hear because I was, oh, and that I could hear if I had the app, right?
Now you
And
have
so
it.
that was, now
Have
you
you
can
think
listen
of that? Did we
anything.
listen?
Exactly. I didn't yet. Then 2013 February, March was, Gary was doing in Copenhagen a level 1. So
Mhm.
foundation, sorry, level 2 and 3. So CFP now, choice for possibilities, now used to be called level 2 and 3. And oh my God, I just was in front like a little happy puppy, just laughing so much and just getting so much freedom with every sentence he spoke. So those were my first encounters with these brilliant beings. Yeah.
Do you still remember what was the first question you asked on a microphone to Gary Ordain? Do you remember that class, that moment, that question?
And to Dane, I did not ask a question in that intro class, and to Gary, I did ask a few questions, and I'm kind of, I know, I remember asking about bars because I had just, I was still very new, and I said, I just get really tired after bars. And then Gary said, tired, or are you just so relaxed and you don't know that level of relaxation? And I was like, oh, yeah, that one. But I asked many questions that class, but that was one of the things that I remember. And he also spoke to me about the difference between opportunities and possibilities,
Oh,
which is
wow.
also something.
Beautiful
Yeah,
concept.
yeah, it was a beautiful. I was asking a question about my dance stuff at that moment. I did not have a dance company yet at all, like very far from possible reality. But hey, and then a few years later, guess what happened? Just what I created. But and then he said, opportunities is where you have an agenda and you kind of limit it, and possibilities is everything is available. And that's another thing that, one of those gems that that has stayed with me. Yeah.
Wow. Beautiful.
Mm,
Very nice. If
mm.
people want to listen to Kalpana's very first question, access when she was completely fresh and new, it was Copenhagen 2013. That's
2012,
2000.
2013. Yeah, March 2013. Yeah.
Okay. Kalpana, we spoke about Obesity Clinic. If there was a second favorite class that you listen to, what would that be? What other topic is intriguing to you that
um,
caught your
well,
attention?
there's so many, but the one of them, what is it? The phenomenons of business. What is that one? Is that the right one?
Ah, you mean
Ah,
the business call?
yeah. I'm so bad. I should have prepared this.
Wait,
Um, but
actually,
anyway,
a business topic. Yeah.
yes,
So if
a
you,
business
if
topic. Yeah.
for people who probably haven't heard anything about Access, who are interested in getting the app and educating themselves about business, what is different in business? How is access tools different in business? And you just mentioned you didn't have a dance company. Now you run a company. A quick download on access and business.
Yeah.
What did you get? What was the one thing that amazed you with the tools?
I mean, such a different perspective. I mean, many of us, I think, if you haven't done access, business is the serious thing. It's very, very specific. It's very like isolated. Like those people do business, and then you don't do business unless you do what they do. It's so specific. And what opened up for me, I remember, is that was like, wow, everything we're creating has a capacity, because business is like the energy you put through into the universe, into the world with your capacities. And this everyday energy, this like, wow, everything is like, we have these capacities for business. It's really an attitude, and it's a capacity to choose and from there create. And it's not this business people wearing a suit, being serious, having no fun because but it's actually that question energy, that curiosity, the wonder, the fun, the totally things that for me were not connected to business. Money as an expression or as a support, but not just about money. Like it was kind of like there was a bomb put on all my limited ideas of what business was, and just exploded into, voila, these are all everything, infinite colors, go for it.
Says Kalpana from her dance studio, squeezing this interview in with no point of view. Thank you so much for being such a
Thanks.
beautiful example for ease, joy, and glory. You don't need to have a perfect setup. You don't need to prepare. You just come and said, "Hey, I'm at the theater. I'll find a quiet spot and let's do this." Um, I
Happy
think
to.
that is how you create all your businesses. And just as a little background information for all your listeners who know you as a advanced access facilitator, you have a dance company and an access business. So, what's about just a quick?
Hmm.
What is the dance company about? What's the access business around? How do you manage to successfully run both at the same time?
Says the super busy David Kubes. um, The dance companies, many people tend to think it's a school or a studio, but it's a company. So I work with professional performers, and we make performances. Basically, we create performances with an idea. Like the piece that we're performing tonight is called Trust. It's about trust, and then when we create the idea, we have all these things, and we sell the performance before it's even made. So it's a whole system. Like now we're selling a piece for next year already. So it's always the theater then choose the pieces they want in their program. They select you in a way, but of course, in a way, you choose it, right? and then
There's
and
Kalpana.
and then we make the performances with like so we have a music composer, we have a costume designer, we have a light designer. So we make from nothing, basically, like a 1 hour show, and that we tour all over. And then besides that, we have smaller projects with different other partners, other performers, other musicians, and those are sometimes for festivals or other setups, but mostly in theaters or in theatrical settings, sometimes outside, sometimes inside. That's what we do. So I work with basically super amazing, talented people.
So
Yeah,
you have the ideas, you create the performance, you do the sales and marketing, and then you tour around and
yeah,
actually perform the shows.
yeah.
And
So
that
I don't perform because I'm really
you
like a director. So I make people do what I want. No, we
so
make
you're
it together.
supervising, orchestrating in the back.
Yeah, actually. So it's a lot with the lighting designer will come. I have ideas. Everybody, the musician has ideas, and we bring it together. And I'm like, I direct it. And then every theater, even when we're on tour, the stage is a bit different. The things, so we adjust it a bit, but there's a basic thing, of course, and it grows as we tour.
And
Yeah,
this you do while facilitating advanced access classes, your own access business, your own
yeah.
facilitation business. Kalpana, you are an incredible inspiration. Thank you so much for
Thank
making
you.
time to be my guest today. And ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to have a little bit of that ease and power and potency, orchestrating your life with ease, joy, and glory, dive into the Access Me app and find out what gems and amazing tools are
Yeah.
available if you want to have that what Kalpan has. Thank you so much, Kalpana.
Thank
Um,
you, David.
enjoy your performance. Good luck with whatever you are
Thanks.
creating. And thank you for me being my guest today.
Thanks for having me, David. And thank you, everybody. Bye bye.
Thank
Enjoy the
you.
app.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.